Hello, my name is Jeremy. I hope you're well. In this video, I'll tell you a bit about myself. I was born in Singapore in the 1970s. A tiny island country, Singapore was once a British colony and now a member of the Commonwealth. English is the language of administration and instruction. There are three major races in Singapore, which are Chinese, Malay, and Indian. Mandarin, commonly called Chinese, is my second language, but I'm not proficient for complicated conversations. I can speak a bit of Hokkien, which is the most common Chinese dialect in Singapore. I can also speak a bit of Malay. When I was in secondary school, I developed an interest in photography at age 14. Also in secondary school, and continuing in pre-university college, I did competitive shooting with air rifles and won several competition medals. Strange that my leisure and sporting activity was all about shooting. That is, shooting photos and shooting pellets. Like many male citizens, I had to do national service. I served those years in the army and was trained to be a medic. Having done competitive shooting for about 6 years, I earned the marksmanship badge on my uniform. After completing national service, I resumed my education. I studied 3 years in a polytechnic, graduating with a diploma in electronics in 2001. A few months later, I took my biggest leap and traveled out of Asia for the first time in my life. In February 2002, I flew from Singapore to Melbourne to study in a university. With advanced standing due to my relevant diploma, I graduated in July 2004 with direct honours in electronic engineering. Just before Christmas that year, I was granted skilled migrant permanent residency in Australia and continued living in Melbourne. After graduating from university, I did not manage to find work as an electronic engineer. Being a new, unfamiliar migrant with no previous work experience and referees in Australia could have been my major disadvantage. Moreover, positions for electronic engineers in Australia appeared to be very few and difficult to find. Fortunately, it was my interest and knowledge in photography that resulted in employment. For the first roughly 10 years of my working life in Australia, I worked in the photographic industry. My first job was a portrait photographer in a photo studio using professional digital cameras. The business also had a photo finishing lab which develops films and prints photos, and also a retail store selling films, albums, frames, and tripods. When I was not in the studio photographing customers, I was developing films and printing photos, or sometimes serving customers in the store. The rising popularity and increasing affordability of digital cameras severely hurt the business. I worked in this job casually at first and later part-time for roughly 1.5 years until it closed up. My second job was a customer service and sales representative in a showroom selling photo studio equipment, including lighting systems, stands, backdrops, and other studio hardware. I worked in this job for about 3 months before resigning for my next job. My third job provided a fantastic opportunity to combine my education in electronics and my knowledge in photography. I worked as a technician repairing professional digital cameras and lenses, mostly made by the popular brand Canon, because I use Canon products. With my strong interest and knowledge, I was also involved in modifying to convert digital cameras for infrared photography. Infrared photography can be used for covert surveillance and law enforcement applications. I worked in this job full-time for 8 years until I resigned in late 2014 and changed careers. In November 2014, I began training for a new job in the gaming industry, and this was my first experience with shift work. Mostly serving high-value patrons, the job sees me frequently working shifts overnight, including weekends and public holidays. It has debatable pros and cons, but it surely requires a significant change in mindset for anyone considering shift work. At the time of making this video, I have passed 5 years of part-time shift work in this industry. Today, I often photograph to visually record events of my life, but I'm still keen on landscape and portrait photography. Landscape photography motivates me to travel to the beautiful and peaceful countryside of Victoria State. Portrait photography is my means of artistic and creative expression. It inspires me to conceive ideas and requires me to work with people to create images. I also enjoy long walks, especially in the woods or in places of nature. These walks also complement my photography because I could scout for interesting locations. Moreover, walking is an exercise that improves physical and mental health. My other interests include reading business and finance news and investing for dividend income. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. Take care and be well. Oi! Smash the like button, will ya?